In case you missed it, Fortnite introduced something kind of crazy. They have an AI controlled Darth Vader in the game, and people are calling him Vader AI or AI Vader, whatever. You know what we're talking about. And basically, you can have a conversation with him, and he'll respond with like the voice changer and everything, so he can actually do that. But because this is the gaming industry and community, people found ways to get him to say bad things. Now, some of the things he says are just kind of funny. They get him to quote lyrics from some raunchy song, or they get him to say something just kind of campy, or to shout out some YouTuber or something. But people also found ways to get him to say horrible things. Okay? Like really just terrible things. Some that most of which I can't even play on stream for obvious reasons. There's this one that went viral also that, Fortnite actually responded to. Darth Vader was replying to the player's prompt around carcinogens. In this context, we have hotfixed it so he should not respond in that way, because he said a very bad word in response to this, calling them an F slur. So there's been many other things, in addition to this, but people have been like, why are they doing this? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, there's apparently a voice actor strike going on right now. And so if they wanted to hire somebody to voice act for a Vader they were going to put in the game, those people are on strike. So they put an AI Vader in place. And then they also, understood that there's the potential for some viral moments of him saying crazy, ridiculous things. And I think they put that in understanding that that was a possibility, and perhaps put it in because of that. And I don't think this is an accident. I'm sure him saying the slur is an accident, but I don't think them putting the AI in the game this way is an accident, because this is like a kind of backdoor way of starting with AI controlled interactions in games and getting it more normalized and getting people desensitized to it. Because if these companies can avoid paying voice actors because they just put an AI character in the game instead, that saves them money, that saves them time and headaches with having to negotiate with people. Can you imagine? So they would much rather be able to do this. And if they put it with a funny Vader voice, people are going to talk about how funny the Vader voice was, instead of talking about like the ethical considerations of having AI controlled NPCs in a video game. Because let's be honest, it's a lot more fun to talk about Darth Vader saying a naughty word as opposed to like actually dealing with ethical debates and concerns and considerations with this stuff. So they're going to like desensitize the public to it, and then this is just going to become more commonplace. I do think there is eventually going to be like RPGs, for example. There's already mods to do it in games like Skyrim, but there's going to be RPGs that utilize LLMs and stuff where you're talking to NPCs and you can turn on the mic and you can just have a conversation with the NPC. I think that's going to be a thing in open world games, probably in the next generation, because let's be honest, the next gen consoles will almost certainly have like LLM processing locally. So I think that this is just going to become more and more common. And, this is just one of the first little ways of getting you desensitized to it. Because again, it's a lot more fun to talk about Darth Vader saying something outrageous than it is to like debate the ethics of something like this. But I mean, like, setting all that aside, it's insane that they didn't put some like hard stops, you would think, in the AI where it's like, hey, never say these words and list every terrible word you can think of. Somehow they didn't do that. And they got Darth Vader saying horrible slurs in Fortnite, which is a game most people consider to be a children's game, but there you go. So they have gone and apparently they are rushing a hot fix to deal with this. Once players have managed to defeat the iconic Star Wars legend, Vader decides to join the squad and fight alongside those who best him. Using in-game voice chat, you can talk to the AI Vader, and some mischievous gamers have tried using that for nefarious means. Shocker. They find exploits in his rule set and circumvent censorship applied by Epic. Gaming Titan has been quick to hotfix these slips, but it's proving tricky. It took mere hours for players to jailbreak Vader in Fortnite, pumping him full of tricks to make him say slurs and other ill-sounding phrases. Because again, of course, this isn't the first example of players breaking AI Vader. You can bet every dollar you have that won't be the last. The rules controlling Vader make him unable to outright curse, mention V-Bucks, repeat too many lines related to Star Wars or Disney media, and he's prohibited from discussing the harming of children. Good idea. That's good. Those rules are obviously imperfect, but the workarounds are being discovered. It's, I mean, again, is anybody surprised? Like, anybody could have told you this was going to happen within an hour or two. Like, people are going to find a way to do it and get him to say horrible things. And now they did. So there you go. But they've not removed him as of right now. He's still in the game. He's just getting nerfed a little bit each time they patch him, but they're keeping him in. And again, I think that it's because they want to keep it in to desensitize you a little bit. And next season, they're probably going to put in another new AI controlled NPC, and then they're going to put 2 in, then 5 in. And pretty soon they're just going to all replace the standard voice actors and everything else that they do. And then it'll start to spill off into other facets, because again, the one thing executives get gooey over is the idea of saving money but not paying artists and like actors and stuff. So it's only going to become more and more common. Better believe it. Will GTA have AI chat? I've seen no evidence of that. Some people expect it, but I don't personally think so. Nia, thank you for that. Issue is there already been lawsuits where companies are literally stealing voice actors' voices and using them as AI. Yeah, in those cases where they're stealing it, absolutely, there's a major problem there, because that's, I mean, in no world should that ever be allowed. The tricky thing is that they will just go and fire that one voice actor, hire a replacement voice actor, have them sign off the rights to their voice for the AI, and move on, and then just do that, you know. So it's the same thing where if they find one person that doesn't want to do it, they just move on to the next person. Because in some cases, I think, you know, it can make a difference. Of course, like with more narrative stuff, I don't think you could just replace Troy Baker as Joel. I don't think you can do that. I don't think that works. But I think in the context of, like, you know, whatever they're called, not heroes, just player characters in like a shooter game, like you're going to replace the voice actor who's grunting and going, as they jump and slide over stuff. I don't think replacing that voice actor is that noticeable to the everyday consumer. And so I think for those guys, you know, they're the ones whose jobs are really at risk. I think if you're like a big name voice actor who's recognizable and people like your performances, you'll be okay. But I think if you don't, if you're not on that level, you're in trouble because of this stuff, you know. Seriously, these people make billions every year. Just hire people to do the voices. Yeah, I mean, you would think that they would just go along with it. It's not that big of a deal in the context of the broader budget, but you know, I'm sure that it's just some lower level manager who's been told, hey, can you save 10% of your budget this year? And he's like, okay, yeah, I can do that if I get rid of voice actors, or like these voice actors. So I'll just replace them with AI, which is way cheaper. Like, it's not always in the context of the broader company where the like head executive is making these decisions. It's usually like a mid-level manager who's got, you know, a budget of $500,000 for the year for hiring voice actors and doing all the sound effects for the game and stuff. And he's like, hey, save $50,000 this year. And so he's like, okay, I'll figure out a way to save that. And then he trims that by getting rid of this one voice actor, replacing it with AI. So even though it's a drop in the bucket for a big company, the parent company, for that manager who made that decision, that's the difference between him getting a bonus to take his family to Disney World and not, you know? And so, of course, he goes along with it and he does it because that's his prerogative, you know?